Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got something a little bit different for you. We've got our very first product review. Disclaimer, the product that I'm about to review has been provided free of charge, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to give a completely honest review. So let's not waste any time, let's get straight into it. We're going to run through our review of the Aoocci C6 Pro. Well, first of all, excuse the reflection of my ever balding head. Let's get all of this out and I'm going to work through what it actually is. So here's the actual device. Already feels pretty sturdy. Now that is apparently, I think it's 6 1/4 inches. But before we actually delve into what all these bits and pieces are, probably makes sense to actually tell you what this device is advertised as doing. It has front and rear cameras, which are 1080p. It has wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, and it connects to your phone via Bluetooth. And it's got inbuilt GPS, which will be handy when you go to places like I do, like the Lake District, where your signal on your phone drops off. On top of that, it's got a tyre pressure monitoring system, and it's also waterproof to IP67. Let's delve into what we've actually got here in front of us. And it looks like in this bag we've got a couple of bar clamps, rubber inserts to protect your bar, or potentially change the size what it clamps to. It looks like here we've got the front and rear facing cameras, a waterproof power box. So I think that's where you can connect it direct to your battery. But I believe, even though if you turn your ignition off on the bike, that this will still draw a little bit of power. So that's something I'm not particularly keen on. But in slow time, I may connect that up, get the multimeter out, and just see if there's any parasitic draw that comes from this. Because if that is the case, I'll not be connecting it via the battery. I'll probably use the USB, which unfortunately on the streettriple is under the rear seat for some reason. And also comes with a remote control that you can put on your handlebars, so you don't actually have to use the touchscreen. So I don't know, well, you can see that there, but it's got a couple of buttons on. It looks like there we've got a little fitting kit, which looks like it's got some sort of 3M style pads in, so that's probably where you can maybe stick or mount the front and rear facing cameras. So we'll run through all of these in detail as we actually go and set it up on the bike. So this is the current setup, which is just the quad lock with the anti-vibration dampener. But this is how the device would look if it's able to mount in a sort of central position. I'm going to see what's come in terms of the fitting accessories to see whereabouts on the handlebars or in the centre section that I can actually mount it. To connect it to the bike, it comes with a little clamp. I can get away with using the thinnest inserts, so it's going to look like this. But the only problem I've got, and I'll quickly spin the camera around, is I was hoping to mount it centrally here, at least in terms of what's provided with the box. You don't have anything to mount it centrally on a setup like this. So I'll have a look online, see what else is out there. But I'm probably going to have to set it up in this area here. So I'll take this off to clear up a bit more room, and let's see how it looks. Just fitting the clamp now and tightening it up. So on the back of the device, so there's 4 screws and a mounting plate. It just attaches over those. So we've got all 4 connected on the back. I'm just going to nip these up. I'm not going to tighten them too much, just to see how everything looks when we mount it to the bike. So that's how it looks on the back of the device. And this is how it looks mounted to the bike. I haven't got it centrally, but I can still move it further across, so I can probably get it about in line with here. But I've attached the sun visor, which has just got 3 small screws on the top, and also behind. This is what it looks like so far. The ball joint that you can see in there is just tightened by that screw. When you order these, you can send them an image to put as the boot image, which that looks pretty awesome, to be honest. To go through the menu systems, I've taken it back off the bike just to have a closer look. So this is the home screen that you get. To connect it to your phone, all you do is you press the interconnect in the centre there, turn on your Bluetooth on your phone, find the name of the device, press pair, make sure you pick Android Auto or Apple CarPlay in the menu, and then that's it. It's completely connected. Now on the left hand side you've got the menu system. So you've got brightness, volume, there's your Bluetooth settings, and then you've got various other settings, so you can change it to miles an hour, which is what I've already done. And the screen itself is very clear. The buttons are quite large to click on, and I would say it's quite responsive. No problems there. We'll go back to the home screen, and now we'll just click straight on to the interconnect. So this is where the Android Auto will kick in. This is what the maps look like, and again, it is pretty responsive. It is very clear. Yep, no complaints how that works. And the beauty of this is, with it being connected to your phone, you can also control your audio, which obviously I can't play in the video, but there you can see Spotify coming straight on the screen. And this is the Android Auto menu system, which if you've got it in your car, you'll kind of already recognise all the features that it's got. But I think with the buttons being as large as this, there shouldn't be any problem if you're stopping at a set of lights and you need to just press one of the buttons. But what I will try now is putting one of the motorcycle gloves on and seeing if it still responds to touch. So here we are with the RST gloves on. Let's see if it responds. It does. That's good to know. Now if we go back to the main menu, let's see where the setting is for the camera. You've got the option on this section here to look at the live feed for the camera. So for the purposes of this video, I've just plugged one of them in. So any second now you should see my ugly mug appearing on the left hand side. I don't know how well you can see that, but that is a pretty good picture. Very impressed. Not sure if I'm actually going to mount these to the bike, just because I'm a little bit OCD about how many wires I've got, but if I can find a way of getting these neatly stacked, I probably will do it, because it'll come in very handy should the worst case happen. Especially if you're stopping at a junction and you get some driver behind doesn't see that you've stopped and hits the back of you. This will be spot on. Unfortunately, I've had to order a USB extension cable, one that comes with the bike, which I'll just show you now. I've got it sat here just to give the approximate idea of the length I need. So the cable itself, I'll run it through some of the plastics that I mentioned earlier, but it's just a bit shy of reaching where I need it to go to. So I'll probably only need another 300 millis worth of cable, and I can run that through under the seat into the connector in there, and then I'll be able to hide those wires quite neatly. And then I'm going to take off the quad lock mount, move the clamp as far to the right as I can, so I'll get it right up against here, and then the device should sit not quite central, but it's going to be reasonably central, and it'll not be in the way of the display or any of the controls or anything like that. Final thoughts. So I've gone through what's in the box, I've gone through how to set it up on the bike, some of the features of the device itself, and I think overall I'm impressed, and it's going to be a device that I'm going to use. I've got to wait for the new cable to arrive and then I'll actually finally install it on the bike, and then I'm going to be using it for the next couple of trips I go on, whether that be camping, heading up to Scotland, wherever I'm going to go. I'm going to use this device, keep my phone in my pocket and see how I get on. But I think really one of the things that is appealing is the price. So if you bear in mind, I think it is, as of today, it's £163 to buy the device, but I can offer a discount of 22% using the code NWG22, which I'll put in the description below. But with the discount code, it'll be £127. And for what you get, if you factor in it's got its own GPS system, tyre monitoring system, front and rear camera, it's waterproof, the screen's clear, it's responsive, don't really have any negative points, other than it might have been better if there was more mounting options straight out of the box. But I'm going to have a look on the internet, see what I can find to potentially mount it so it is dead centre. But at the end of the day, even if it's off slightly to the left, as long as it's not obscuring the view of anything that it shouldn't, it'd be perfectly fine. One thing I didn't mention is it comes with an anti-theft system, and all that is, it needs a special tool to release the screws, because that is one of the downsides. It will permanently live on the bike unless you unscrew it every time you're leaving the bike somewhere. So yeah, in summary, I recommend it. I think the price is cracking, functionality is spot on, everything combined. It is a worthy addition to your your bike setup. And I'll follow up in a few weeks once I've been out on the road with it a few more times, but I'm not foreseeing any problems. So a big thank you to Aoocci for sending this to review, and I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.